Hello, my name is David Eldridge from Eldridge Squirrel Farms, and today we are going to talk about some problems that people have been having with mounting the kits. And we want to start out with show the squirrels that you can get with the kit. We have the 9-inch, 10-inch, 11-inch, 12-inch, 13-inch squirrels. You can have them running up, running down, or sitting position. Now over here, if you look over here, this is the fox squirrel that we have, and this is one of the main problems we're having, and we'll talk about it later, on measuring the squirrel. You want to take, after you kill your squirrel, the first thing you want to do is take a tape measure and put it right here at the tip of its nose, like this, and run it down, and you want to take your thumb and put it right on its butt, right up under its butt, and you can see that this one is 12 inches long. That's the measurement you're going to need for the kit squirrel, to order your kit from. These are the kits. They're running up, running down, and sitting. They're all color-coded. In each one of these kits is everything you need plus extra to mount a squirrel. Now, Miranda and I have been getting a lot of questions, so we wrote some cheat sheets that we can go by. But in the kit, it's written instructions. We went through a lot of trouble, at least Miranda did, from skinning it all the way up to mounting the squirrel. They're all number coded. If you have any problems, we also have another sheet. This is step by step, showing you each individual step where you might have a question. The main problem we're having right now, people are getting a squirrel, watching the YouTube videos and skinning the squirrel, and then they're calling us to order their mannequin, the kit, and they've got a bunch of questions, which is burning up a lot of time. So what we want customers to do, collect your squirrel, measure your squirrel, and freeze the squirrel. Order your kit. Open your kit, read all the instructions, familiarize yourself with it, with all the instructions, and then start the process. Now, when you're just getting started, we have found out that it's better to skin your squirrel, flesh your squirrel, freeze it. Then the next time you take it out, you can sew up the hose, wash it, dry it, and mount it. It's sort of like 2 steps. That way you don't get tired and burn out. Some of the questions that we've been having are people are calling, well, my squirrel's 10.5 inches, or my squirrel's 12.5 inches. What do I do? We would suggest you order the smaller kit. The reason being is the kits are designed to be fun and to learn the process. Once you get the process down, then you'll learn some of the ways that you can figure out some of the problems without having to call us every day. We appreciate the business, but the phone has been ringing and Miranda's on my butt. So Miranda and I are going to go over some of these questions right now and just kick back and forth some of the problems we've been having. Like I said, this is in the middle of the workday, but Miranda said we need to do it, so we're doing it. Go.
Hey everyone, this is Miranda from LZ Squirrel Farms and LZ's Taxidermy. I just wanted to start off by saying thank you to everyone who has purchased our squirrel mounting kit for beginners. We have gotten some great feedback from everyone and some questions that we would like to go over now, because people are calling in with common questions and they're calling in with the same questions. And instead of having to spend so much time on the phone, we can go ahead and cover this and get this out of the way, which we don't mind the calls. We enjoy talking to different people all throughout the United States about our kits, and people are surprised when we actually answer the telephone, but that's what we're here for. We didn't want to be one of those companies that produce something and you can never get in touch with anybody. You are welcome to call us 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, from 8 to 5. We're here. So just give us a call, if you have any questions, but hopefully we can cover everything that we need to here today. Mr. Dave and I are going to toggle back and forth between us, and hopefully we'll cover everything. If we haven't, just, include a message to us, and, we'll provide a link if you're interested in buying the kits. Maybe this is the first time you've ever heard of them, to our website where you can purchase those. But
right now we're using cheat sheets to be sure we cover most of
yes,
it.
cheat sheets, because, we're working today, so we're just trying to make sure that we cover everything that we're supposed to. The first thing I want to start off by saying is the squirrel is not included in the kit. You would not believe the questions that we've had from people saying, well, why don't you include the squirrel? For a number of reasons, we cannot include a squirrel. But no, the squirrel is not included in the kit. You have to go out and harvest your own squirrel. So I'll let Mr. David lead off with the next question.
Which one would that be?
That would be where you
Where I what?
turn the thing off.
The other question that we get a lot is about the dry preservative. We use dry preservative to mount the squirrels. A lot of people want to tan their squirrels before they mount them on the kits. That's fine. All you have to do is use the same process that we're using, is skin your squirrel, flesh your squirrel, and then you're going to have to tan your squirrel. Then you can use your tan squirrel skin to mount on the kits. But I've been doing taxidermy work for over 40 years, and I've found that dry preservative works real well for me, so I'm not going to change. Dry preservative works good for small critters. I do use tan hides for stuff like the kudu and the oryx that we have mounted. But for small critters, I like to use dry preservative. If you want to use tan, if you want to tan your hide, that's perfectly fine too. All you have to do is just tan your hide, and then just keep on with the same instructions that we give you up to there. What's next, Miranda?
All right. In our kits, we have included way more stuff than you will ever use to mount one squirrel. So we just want you to know that you do not have to use all of the things that are included.
All the clay and
Oh my
pins.
goodness, we have enough clay for you to make a bowl out of, but you only need just 4 little small balls, for the feet, and just a little bit for the eyes, and then the base of the tail. You don't need all of that clay. So if you have a lot of stuff left over, don't think it's a bad thing. It's not like putting a swing set together when you have 16 screws left over and you just think it's going to fall apart. The kit will be fine if you only use exactly what you need and you have a lot of stuff left over.
What's the next question we got there, Miranda?
All right, do not try to complete the entire process in one day.
This is supposed to be fun for kids especially, or for anybody getting started that really don't know the whole process.
Exactly, because taxidermy can become very overwhelming very quickly. I know when I started taxidermy, I became overwhelmed trying to mount a deer one night and ended up breaking the mount, and I had to bring it to Mr. David, and he thankfully helped me out, to get it all put back together. But I was at the point where I was just going to give up because it was just way too much. So don't get to a place where where you're overwhelmed and you don't want to finish it. We want it to be fun. We want you to have a great time. And who knows, maybe start a new career with this. So just try to break it up into 2 days. And even if you can't get to it a week later, once you put it in the freezer, it's going to be good for a while. So you can pick it back up maybe the next weekend or something. So just remember, keep it fun, keep it simple.
All right, what we have next?
Hide paste. Hide paste has been a big question.
Well, on all of our mounts, we usually do use hide paste, except on squirrels. The only place I use a little hide paste is around the mouth,
Yes,
period.
yes.
And it's not in the kits. I don't think it's required for the kits. The kits are made for people to learn the step-by-step process.
Correct.
And then later on, they can go ahead and start doing stuff like this, different type mounts. But the kits are made for people just to get started, learning the process, having a little fun, and then if they want to follow it later on, they can start doing other things.
Correct.
What we got next?
All right. The drier your squirrel, the better.
Yeah, they fluff up so much prettier.
Just like my hair. My hair's wet, falls down. If it's dry, it's nice and poofy. So your squirrel needs to be as dry as you can get it. Compressed air is the best thing that you can use to dry it, or a pet dryer. But if you don't have that, don't worry about it. Just spend a little extra time drying your squirrel to make sure that once you get it mounted, it's going to be nice and fluffy, because a flat-looking squirrel is not a pretty squirrel.
Yeah, you have a lot of trouble sometimes if you try to stretch a squirrel over a mannequin that's too large. You can't ever get it to fluff up either. That's one reason we like people to use a little bit smaller
Mannequin. Yeah, okay. If the tail becomes clogged with preservative.
Now that's one.
All right, I'm going to let Mr. David answer that one.
Well, you can answer it. All you got to do is cut the tip of the tail. Yeah, I'll answer it.
Okay, there he is, Mr. Hesitant.
One thing, a problem we have, when we work preservative down through the tail with the wire, a lot of times people will get and put too much preservative down the tail, and it gets clogged up. And Lord, trying to get it back out is a problem. So what you need to do is take your skin, turn it over, take your knife, and cut a little slit in the tip of the tail, and be real careful and take your wire and feed it backwards through the tail until you can knock out the clog. Sometimes you'll get a pellet from 16 gauge, 12 gauge pellet up in the tail, and that'll give you trouble too. And just work it backwards until you can get it out. And you can go from there and then just keep on mounting your squirrel. All right, what do we got next, Miranda?
All right, wait until your kit arrives your squirrel. Mr. David covered this earlier, but it's just really important that you wait until the kit gets there, because you may not be comfortable in knowing how to skin it or what to do with it once you skin it. So it's best if you just, you kill your squirrel, measure your squirrel, order your kit, stick it in the freezer, put a Ziploc bag, wrap it up in something, just make sure it's, not going to get freezer burnt or anything, and just wait, be patient, because taxidermy is all about patience. So just freeze it whole. When the kit arrives, you'll have step-by-step instructions on how to defrost it and get it ready to be mounted or skinned. All right, so our next question is, how long does it take to dry a squirrel? And I'm not talking about just drying the hide. Once the mounting process is done, how long until it's set up and it's ready to, to hang on the wall? We're stretching it by saying 4 weeks. That depends on your climate. That depends on, what kind of environment you have it in. If it's hanging in a shed or in your garage or in a house where you have air conditioning and it's climate controlled. So it's going to vary a little bit, but 4 weeks is giving you plenty enough time. The right thing to look for is the stiffness of the ears. If your ears are good and stiff, then typically your squirrel is dry. So just check for that, and then you can remove all of the pins and get it ready to either mount on a piece of wood or just, to put on your wall. So pretty sure that's all the questions we have for now, but if there's anything in the future that comes up, we'll be sure and shoot another one of these videos to get the information to you.
All right, you through, Miranda?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to tap the red button.
Thank y'all so much for watching our video, and be sure to check out the link in the description below, and it will forward you to our website where you can buy one of our do-it-yourself kits if taxidermy seems to be something that you want to get into. Call us with any questions. We'll be happy to help you, and thanks again. Bye.